Good morning. It's now time to call our meeting of the Bullitt County Board of Commissioners to order. I would like to welcome the media and visitors. I'd also like to remind everyone to make sure you turn off or put your cell phones and other devices on vibrate so that we can conduct the business of the people. Commissioner Anthony Simmons, will you give us the invocation and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Let us pray. Dear Lord, we give you thanks for waking us up this morning, letting us see another beautiful day that you've made. In this season, dear Lord, we ask that you protect us, protect those who are going to travel, go and make them come back home safe. Dear Lord, we ask that you would just protect our first responders, protect our men and women who are away from home on this day and on this season, the Lord, and bring them home safe. For giving us the time and the glory to have meetings like this, dear Lord. And dear Lord, let us remember the reason for the season. It's all because of you and your grace and mercy. Dear Lord, we ask that you protect this board, make decisions that are good in your sight. And dear Lord, let us make these decisions with our hearts and our souls, dear Lord, and know we're not going to please everybody, but we're going to do our best. All these things we ask in your name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ms. Mincy White, will you call the roll of the commissioners, please?
Okay. I, Venus Mincy White, present as clerk of the Board of Commissioners of Bullitt County, hereby call the roll for those on the governing body. All those present shall answer by saying aye. Chairman David Bennett.
Aye.
Vice Chairman Toby Connor.
Aye.
Commissioner Ray Mosley.
Aye.
Commissioner Anthony Simmons.
Aye.
Commissioner Nick Newkirk.
Aye.
Commissioner Timmy Rushing.
Aye.
And Commissioner Ray Davis. I've determined that we have all members of the Board of Commissioners present. Therefore, we have a quorum to conduct business for the good of the citizens of Bullitt County. And now you the floor back to you, Chairman.
Thank you. Before we get into the general agenda, I'm going to go off the reservation here for a minute and recognize somebody. Last week, Ms. Venus White had the opportunity to go up to Atlanta. Go ahead and stand up so I can embarrass you real good. And she was recognized as the County Clerk of the Year by the Georgia Association of Black County Officials. So they gave her this nice, what are we calling this? County Commissioner knocker upper?
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Beater. So, but I just want to recognize Venus for that award that she got, but also just thank her for being the glue that holds all the commissioners together. If you want to talk about being a professional cat herder, this is what it looks like, and she excels at it every day. Not only does she have to keep us all straight, but she's also having to deal with every open records request that comes into the county, every set of minutes that is produced in this county. She's going through all those things and making sure that they're correct. If we all got on a bus today and died, the county would probably be okay. But if something happens to Miss Venus, y'all better look out because things are going to get bad real quick around here. So thank you. We appreciate you. So before I entertain a motion to approve the general agenda, do we have any discussion or modification desired by the county manager or the board? No, sir. Hearing none, I'm going to call for a motion on this, on the general agenda.
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Motion carries unanimously to approve the general agenda. Next, I've got a presentation by our EMA director, Mr. Corey Kemp, and he's going to discuss disaster recovery progress and reimbursement updates.
Good morning. Corey Kemp, Director of Emergency Management. You can go ahead and flip to the first one. You can go ahead and flip it. We will start with FY23, which is Hurricane Idalia. Anything that is not highlighted, we have already been paid out for. So those are either closed with Bullitt County or those are closed with FEMA. Anything that is highlighted, we are still waiting for funds. So if we start with the countywide ditching of the roads, we have already collected 50% of that funds. The other 50% cannot be collected until we are completely finished with the project and we have actually closed out the FER. That will take approximately another 6 months. But as far as the ditching, we got 25% left. Mitch Johnson has taken over that project. He said he should be finished by March the 1st. Once we do that, it'll take another 3 months to get the paperwork straight. As far as that project, the period of performance will expire on March the 24th. We will ask for a 12-month extension for that project. We should not need the whole 12 months, but we will ask for 12 months. As far as the second item highlighted, the management costs, we are able to ask for up to $349,000. That is based on our work that we put in, how much time we took away from our normal job to do the work for FEMA. So right now we're up to about $20,000. That was just Dink doing the work himself. Now myself, Miss Stephanie, and Mitch will contribute to that $20,000 as we go along to get the paperwork complete. So I'm guessing about another $10,000 or $12,000 be added to that price. That period of performance expires on the same date, March 24, 2026. So again, I will ask for a 12-month extension, but we cannot get that money until we have completed every other project, and that there's only one project remaining open for that. Any questions about IDEA yet? No? All right, go ahead. Next one. All right, I'm not sure who have seen this email or on the news. I'm not gonna say it's a little misleading, but it is. This happened Thursday and Friday night. FEMA obligated every project that was in the CRC. We had 3 projects that was remaining in CRC. They have obligated all 3 of those. They sent me the paperwork Saturday morning. I signed for it Saturday morning and sent it back that day. Sunday, they sent me the cost records. I went ahead and signed for those. So we just need to do the work. So that $1 billion is projects that we have already been working on. So it isn't something new that we can ask for. Only thing new that we can ask for is further down where you see mitigation actions. That's 1.8 million, or plus some of the 350 million. Those projects are like the animal shelter generator or the public works generators. Those are projects that are already in there. I think we're going to ask for a stormwater master plan that's in there in the city of Statesboro. I'm doing one with them, which is a stormwater master plan also. But that money has already been taken care of. Go ahead. Now we'll talk about Tropical Storm Debbie. Most of those projects have been paid out. All the checks cleared, they're in the bank. You'll see the first highlighted note which says ditching and draining routes 1 through 4 for 1.6 million. Those we have not started on. We cannot start on those until we finish IDEA. Once we finish IDEA, we'll start on those. Mitch says because we only got to do 36% of the county roads, it should take about 3 months to get those completed. If we, washout repairs, those are all complete, but we just have not been paid out for routes 1, 2, and 4. I should have a check waiting in the next 30 days, but I'm not guaranteeing anything. Same for grading dirt roads. Routes 1 and 2, all of them are complete. Routes 1 and 2, I'm waiting for the check for those as well. I'm saying 30 days, but there's no guarantees. We have already been paid out for Route 3 and 4. Any questions on the top piece? No? All right, the 3 bottom are very large projects. Those are the projects that just got awarded Thursday and Friday night that I signed for. I'm gonna do those a little bit different since those are a bigger dollar amount that we have to pay up front and be reimbursed. So If we look at Country Club Road, $891,000. We're approximately 30% complete with the entire project. Once we get to 50%, I will ask for half the money. And then once we finish the rest of the project, I'll ask for the other half. We'll do the same way with GW Oliver. That project is 2.3 mil. Once we're at 25% on that one. Once we get to 50%, I'll ask for half the money. I'll ask for approximately 1.125 mil. And then from there, we'll get the rest when the project is 100% complete. For Pleasant Hill, we are at 60%. I think I'll just wait for 100% and we'll just request a full 189 once we're completed the project at a whole. Any questions on Debbie? Yes, sir. Last, we have Hurricane Helene. The projects, again, the projects that are not highlighted have been paid out, and that does include some of our debris. The first one that is highlighted is our 100% debris, which is a part of the project that goes with the one above it. We're still waiting for 1.4 that got obligated Thursday or Friday night. That's one of the ones that I signed for. For that, I have to get with Ms. King because we have to prove in conjunction that we use $7 million. I need the receipts now that we finally have completed it. Same thing that goes for the debris removal, 75%. It says 75%, but the state has agreed to pay the other 25%. So we will get the full $4 million, but I need to get with Ms. King so we can get the actual receipts so we can give it to the state to get the rest of the $4 million. I'm guessing it'll take her about a week or two to get the receipts. Once I have all the receipts, I will upload them and the money's cleared, so we should get the checks instantly, maybe 30, 45 days again. So those are all the projects that we have open with FEMA. That's where they stand. I think most of the, go ahead, you can flip it to the next one. Most of the 12 to 14 million that is outstanding is going to our roads, dirt roads, bridges. Some of the money is going to generators and some initiative projects. Initiative projects are projects like weather stems and weather radios for the community that GEMA will pay for. But we're just waiting for the money to be released. All right. And that's the end of my slideshow. Any questions?
Nope, just thank you again. You and all the staff.
Thank you.
Again, like I said, it's a big deal, you know, and y'all have worked hard at it, and looks like y'all got it in the short rows now, so
Yes, sir.
we appreciate everything y'all do.
Everything should be finished within the next 8 months besides the 3 large projects.
Right before storm season.
Unfortunately, yes, sir.
Mr. Coy, I would like to say thank you for all you've done, and would like to mention that a lot of people don't understand why we keep a rainy day fund balance, but now if you look at this, you understand why Bullitt County has moved forward, not waiting on our money, and we'll be reimbursed for it. But a lot of people don't understand that that's set aside. We don't spend the taxpayers' money unless we have to, but it's set there so everybody can keep going to work while we wait on the federal and state government to pay us back.
Yes, sir.
And I appreciate you for all you do. Thank you.
Thank you.
At this time, I'll recognize those citizens who have signed up to address the board. Once your name is called, come to the podium, state your name and address for the record, and make your comments. All speakers who are recognized will be allotted 5 minutes.
Ms. Kathy Dixon.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. My name is Kathy Dixon. I live at 410 Claiborne Avenue, Statesboro, Georgia. I wanted to say I attended the town hall meeting last summer that you held. I did so because my work schedule did not allow me to attend regular county meetings. I believe there are a lot of people in this same situation in this community. I'm asking as you plan your calendars for the coming year that you plan at least 2 town hall meetings in this county in different areas. It is important that we give the people in this county a chance to communicate with you. I understand you have 2 meetings a month, but this type of meeting is sometimes intimidating for people to speak and express their concerns to you. It is important that people feel involved, especially when you come to them saying, we need more money. They need to know why and where it's going. The type of information that we just received is important, but not everybody gets that kind of information. I thank you for what you do for the community, for your commitment, and making sure that we do understand. But as you look at the next year, please put that in your calendar and make that a plan. Also, I would like for an update. I saw Mr. Corey gave the update on the Country Club, but how about Cypress Lake Road? Both Cypress Lake and Country Club are very well-traveled roads. And to ask people to continue to make the roundabout commute that they are forced to make, they need to be kept informed as the progress is going on and where we are in this county. Thank you for your commitment. I wish you all a Merry Christmas, and I hope this county and this country has a much better 2026. Thank you.
If you'll stay tuned, we'll get you an update at the end of the meeting on Cypress Lake Road. Okay, at this time, I'm going to read through the agenda, consent agenda, and then we'll discuss what we can do with this at the end here. Number 1, approve the minutes from Tuesday, December 2nd, 2025. Number 2, approve the purchase of mobile radios and portable radio batteries from Motorola Solutions in the amount of $49,885.26. Number 3, approve resolution to approve ACCT/IRMA Georgia First Responders PTSD Benefits Program Renewal Proposal. Number 4, approve a resolution to approve ACCG Group Self-Insurance Workers' Compensation Fund renewal. Number 5, approve the executive and administrative services agreements with RX Benefits Incorporated. Number 6, approve a sole source purchase of 3 Zoll Zenix cardiac monitors from Zoll Medical Corporation in the amount of $155,206.08. Number 7, approve the reappointments of Charles Chandler and Matthew Levitt to the Planning and Zoning Commission with terms beginning January 6, 2026 and ending December 31st, 2028. Number 8, approve a resolution to confirm the name of County Road number 227. Number 9, grant a 2026 alcoholic beverage renewal license for packaged retail beer and wine sales to certain establishments with a current 2025 license. Number 10, approve a memorandum of agreement with Skyway Towers LLC. And number 11, approve an easement for Georgia Power to install underground power to new corporate hangars. We can approve these items collectively, or we can move any item to new business for further discussion. What would y'all like to do?
Number 6.
Like to move number 6 to new business. Okay, with the exception of number 6, do I have a motion to approve these items on the consent agenda? Do I have a second? Okay, all in favor? Motion carries unanimously to approve the consent agenda. Moving on to new business, we'll go ahead and do number 6 on the top here. Approve a sole source purchase of 3 Zoll Zenix cardiac monitors from Zoll Medical Corporation in the amount of $155,206.08. I don't know which one of y'all wants to come up and discuss this.
Good.
Okay.
And I think Brian's still at a fire scene, so that's,
Yeah, he's on fire scene this morning. Our director is Lori Sherlin, Deputy Director of Bullitt County EMS. Have Ryan Jones, our training officer, with us.
What can y'all tell us about these cardiac monitors?
So we have budgeted within it was that $140,000 for that. Zoll did come out with new technology very recently about that and are potentially going to be phasing out these monitors in the near future. So with that being said, we were kind of weighing out the options to be able to say, do we buy something that's going to be phased out very soon? Or do we go ahead and get with the new trend of what's happening? The new monitors are by far better. These are going to be replacing, you said, a 14-year-old one and two 12-year-old
Right, we got one
monitors.
14, two 12-year-old monitors that'll be replaced. So we have a history with Zoll of dependability and
Just never lets us down in these situations. So this has just been something to go ahead and get basically with the curve as everything's about to start changing.
I'll speak.
Yes, sir.
I really didn't have a concern. I realized that 140 was budgeted,
Yes, sir.
15,000 over budget. I realized the change that y'all explained. My concern was really that Christy King, from my agenda package, hadn't reviewed this cost, and she's not here today. I'm going to assume, and I know Christy just about approves or goes over every expenditure we had, so I'm going to assume that she has approved this. And that was my only concern that I had, reason for pulling it out. Motion to approve.
Okay. Do I have a second on this item? All in favor? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank
thank
you all.
y'all. Thank y'all for everything y'all do for the community.
Next up, I've got Mr. James Pope is going to come up and discuss a motion to authorize the county manager to execute a contract for professional services to deliver groundwater monitoring program in Bryan and Bullock counties in the amount of $235,008.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good morning, Commissioners. Again, I'm James Pope. I'm the Planning and Development Director for Bullock County, but I'm also the Groundwater Sustainability Program Manager for Bullock County, which the program being shared with Bryan County. I'll try to be somewhat brief, but I did want to take the opportunity to give an update on the 4 wells that, 4 municipal wells that are being constructed currently, of which we will own 2 of them and receive revenue from. The Groundwater Sustainability Program met last Thursday here in this room. We also live streamed the meeting. The December 11th meeting, our primary focus was an engineering update from the project managers for the wells, and then we had 2 proposals to consider, one from Georgia Southern and one from Triple Point Engineering for a groundwater monitoring program. And that's the latter part is what I want to mention or talk about today. The construction update for the 4 wells, well number 1, which is our easternmost well, is currently in its startup phase. They're not producing, or it's not in production as far as end user consumption. It's just they have some calibration things that they have to go through to get the startup on that well completed. Probably sometime in January, it'll begin go into production. Well number 2 is getting very close as well. Mid-January is when we're thinking that one may go online. And then what we'll call the Bullock well number 1 and 2, our engineer, Hofstadter and Associates, updated us that they're thinking those would go online by March. So all 4 wells have been tested, and this is the results from the wells that, as you can see on the chart, they were a 24-hour test is produced by 1.5 times the rate of its normal max capacity for the wells or the pumps that'll be on those wells. So the 2,700 GPMs, gallons per minute, that's what the drawdown produced. So really, in summary, the results are much better than what the EPD model showed. And I think that in the past week or so at the Water Council meeting that was held, EPD has indicated that they're going to go back and remodel the impact of the 4 wells, and they expect that it would, initially they said a 19-foot drawdown, but they, based on our results, we really don't feel like it would be as significant of a predicted drawdown. So EPD's kind of said that their model was a little conservative in how they were modeling it. But to note, on our Bullock well number 2, they had to initially create a 4-inch well to then construct the larger well. With that 4-inch well being on site, they monitored it while the 24-hour pump or the drawdown was being conducted. And the 10.3 drawdown, 10.3 feet of drawdown during the 24-hour period, that was in the well casing itself, the large production well. But then the 4-inch well, which was about 150 feet away, only showed a 4-foot drawdown. So just within the 100 feet, there's significant, I guess, less of an impact or less drawdown, only 150 feet away. So again, our thought is the model was pretty conservative in their predictions. The projected well water in the ramp-up schedule, this schedule was provided by Thomas & Hutton. The last year, 2030, that's an assumed constant rate. It may go up a little bit, but for our purposes in trying to create a budget for the groundwater sustainability program and the next item I'm going to mention, that's what we're considering gallons per day that would be produced, which is important for the groundwater sustainability program because 10 cents per 1,000 gallons of that, I guess that's produced, 10 cents per 1,000 will go to the groundwater sustainability program to build up that fund. As a reminder, the groundwater sustainability program was created with $1 million to begin with by 4 entities. That's the Bryan County Development Authority, the Bullock County Development Authority, Joint Development Authority, which is the 4 counties that with the mega site and all. And then the Hyundai Motor Group was the 4th entity. The fund has been set up. We do have, as I've checked up to yesterday, 3/4 of the fund is established. The last part, we're just waiting on the check. So, but they have, Hyundai is aware and has been invoiced for the money. So no problem there with the fund. It is established, and if there were problems tomorrow, we would have the ability to draw down the funds and fix any issues. So all that to say, the program will have, if no money was ever spent, I project you'd have about 1.5 million in the fund after 5 years. And then, that's assumed on this rate, which may be conservative as well. But in the ramp-up schedule, that's just kind of what we know at this point. And so what I'm here today is on behalf of the Groundwater Sustainability Program and the advisory committee that you all formed with Bryan County. They felt, and I as staff, in discussing various options for the program, we feel that it would be beneficial to the community and really for both Board of Commissioners, boards of commission, that we establish a groundwater monitoring program so that we can verify what we think we know. We're testing a hypothesis here, but to create a defensible baseline for groundwater levels, really at the time we get started with a production. It's something that is set up for 5 years as proposed, and again, it would help determine. It would help with EPD modeling and the contours of the aquifer, different aquifer depths, and how that's going to impact the drawdown of wells and other regional wells that may come up from now to whenever. But what we're proposing is a 6-well monitoring network. That, not to get into too much of the science, but it would be monitored. The recordings would take place every 15 minutes. the data logger would be on site for the well, and the proposal by Georgia Southern, which the committee believes is the best avenue, they would have staff that would collect the data and quarterly have different updates for us, but the data would be monitored by Georgia Southern and their staff. They would produce documents at the end of each quarter and each year that would kind of summarize everything that they're seeing with the groundwater monitoring program. And for Georgia Southern's benefit, they could use the data for research papers and other items. So the two proposals that were considered were from Georgia Southern, which was $235,000. I don't call it $8, but that's for 6 wells for 5 years. And that was the lowest of the two options. Triple Point Engineering was $362,000 for the same 6 wells. And so I think the committee believes Georgia Southern they're both, I guess, in their methods are pretty much the same, but Georgia Southern being the lower cost option plus a regional benefit using a local university, I think it all kind of aligns to where our recommendation is for approval. And if this board approves or authorizes us to move forward, then we'll talk to Bryan County probably next month, and assuming they're on board, then the well monitoring program can start probably, maybe they can start monitoring in about 2 months. So, and have Dr. Frank Davis here, who's also Secretary of the Groundwater Sustainability Program Advisory Committee. And so, Frank, did I miss anything?
No, you did good. I think the most important thing, we got 2 farmers on our commission here today. You make your living from the ground and using water. We felt like that even though the drawdowns are less than what we anticipated, we owe it to the county and to all the folks that make their living that we need to document and prove what the drawdown really is. So there's no question. We want to be as transparent and credible as we possibly can. And so it's a lot of money just to measure, but at the same time, we feel like that this is an important position.
And if I stated it, I apologize, I'm going to restate it, but the funds to pay for the monitoring program would come from the Groundwater Sustainability Program funds. So again, with anticipated over 5 years, 1.5 million if we, again, didn't have any expenditures. So we have the money in the bank now, but in the future, we'll have money to replenish. So we feel pretty confident about it. Y'all have any questions for me?
The 6 wells, will they be the 4 wells that we pumping from plus 2 additional, or there'll be 6 different wells surrounding the 4 wells?
The 4 production wells will be monitored, but that's going to be data that's, I guess, free to us. But the 6 wells that this program anticipates is going to be separate from those 4. So they may be homeowner wells that they use day in and day out. They'll just calibrate the measurements based on if it's used. Ideally, we would locate some wells that are not in use, but Georgia Southern's going to have to come up with a statistically valid sample and what they believe they can defend. So the voluntary well registrations that we have probably 250. That data will be provided to Georgia Southern to kind of go over, and our anticipation is that the locations would be voluntary, so we don't anticipate paying a homeowner to locate the device in their well, but we have the knowledge and expertise to put that monitoring.
6 additional wells.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then that helped with the cost, use existing wells, so we're not having to drill new ones.
Okay. The other question, I know the fund that we have is strictly supposed to be going to help potential problems with wells. Is there any way we can swap the payment coming out of the mitigation fund to use then the actual money that we're getting from the wells after like the first year, whenever we start getting money coming in? Because I'd hate to burn through $250,000 of mitigation fund. With the surface water coming a lot sooner than we all anticipated, I don't think there's going to be issues, but this fund is here to help the people in case the wells run dry. And I'd hate to spend $250,000 on a program and not have that $250,000 to help a homeowner put a well back in place if it dries up. So I understand that we have the money there now, and I know we got to have the 1.5 or whatever you said after 5 years, but is there any way that we can actually take the money that we actually producing off the water and use that money to pay for this program versus taking it out of a fund to potentially help the households of the, Bullitt County that might have issues?
In the contract's a 5-year contract, so you divide that 235 by 5. So we're just committing to the total.
Right, so.
So the
we
hit
would pay it.
annually is much smaller than that 235.
Yeah, but
So
I'm
that
just saying,
helps
is
as well.
there any way that we can, obviously y'all want to pull it out of the fund right now because we have it right now, but that money was set aside to help the actual wells, if they dry
About
up.
$45,000 the first year. So yeah, we'd be able to have.
And then
that
we'd
type
be able to
revenue.
swap it out and pull it off the actual money that we're making off the water versus pulling it out of a fund
Yeah.
that's supposed to help the citizens.
Because I just said, I know you kind of look at the 235, but that's over the course of 5 years.
Yeah, I
So
understand that. I'm just, I just want to make sure, because that mitigation fund was supposed to be there to help a homeowner, and I just don't want to pull it out for a program, and all of a sudden we do have issues, and we short
Yeah.
$250,000 that we need to give to the citizens.
Yes, no, we'll have that revenue, it'll be sitting there. We also have to work up, and James working on RFP. We just need to have somebody on call if we have any issues with those wells too, since we got them. And
Yeah,
you got
yeah,
lines in
yeah.
the ground, stuff happens, so, we will have possibly some costs there as well.
When is the projected, I know you said we're going to start pumping in January. How does the billing work? When are we going to get the first check from Hyundai or whatever on the water? Is that like a 6-month turnaround, or do we bill them monthly, yearly? How does that work with as far as getting money coming back to us?
All the water they're gonna consume will be metered, and that's something that, Mr. Eldridge and I,
This is
and
the first
Christie,
time the county's been in the water business, so, yeah. We got to set up the billing with them, and I know I'd heard, they want to know what their cost per thousand is for the surface water in a few years too. Hyundai's trying to pin Bryan County down on that.
and
And
I
another
will
thing,
mention,
if I'm hearing you right, 10 cents off the thousand is going back into the mitigation fund anyway, right?
that's correct, and that's not coming out of our dollar per thousand that
That's
Bullitt County will
10%,
receive.
10 cents on the thousand going to the mitigation fund that y'all can pay this with.
Right. Yeah. And the fund is bearing interest, so, each month, I think we've already got 9,000 last month or something, I think is what Christie told me, so it's generating interest, which also helps.
Jeff, I got a question for you. If we are to do, like Mr. Newkirk said, and we pay for this monitoring out of the mitigation fund now, do we need to make a change to this resolution to show that after this first year, we're going to pay for it from the proceeds of actually selling water?
Well, does the resolution address the funding source? I don't think it does it?
I read through it and I didn't see any
I think it's
place on
just
where the
approving
funding
the
was coming
contract
from.
with Georgia Southern as far as how it's going to be funded.
Okay.
That's not addressed. So I don't think there's any change to the resolution that would be needed.
Okay.
Yeah.
And another thing, when we started the well mitigation fund, that $1 million was a number that was just pulled out of the air. And everybody was pretty much in agreement. In fact, we didn't know what the damage was going to be to the surrounding wells, and if it was going to be more than that, then everybody was going to put more money in the mitigation fund, is my understanding. In other words, when they turn the wells on, if you had 100 wells go out, because somebody up here done the math on it, I can't remember, and said that wouldn't cover but X amount of wells. And then, of course, everybody said, well, if that don't do it, we'll have to put some more money in it. So Now, I don't know if that's in writing or not, but that was the agreement between the entities that started the well mitigation fund.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
May I speak?
Yep.
Of these 6 monitoring wells, is one designated for irrigation ag well?
We don't have the details from Georgia Southern yet on how they want to, I guess the location is going to depend on how they feel is going to best monitor the drawdowns. So, I mean, without having a map in front of me and proximity from ag well to the drawdown, that's something we can certainly look at. But I think for us, I don't have that expertise in determining that, but Georgia Southern would definitely
The
look at
idea of
it.
the monitoring wells is to look at the effect in aggregate when you turn all the 4 wells on. We know how much is gonna go down in each individual well, but we need to know remotely from that, out to 5 miles, what the drawdown is, okay? So it's not predicated towards an ag well or a residential well. It just we want to know just the drawdown from the aquifer. How much is it gonna be drawn down in general?
Well, the potential for liability on a 4-inch well versus a 14-inch well is almost 15 to 20 times the expense.
Agreed, but we're here to monitor, and if the drawdown is less than 10 feet, that's within the realms of a normal operating well.
And the liability when surface water comes reduces that liability.
That is true, because we'd be able to cut down the amount of water that Bryan County needs.
Any other questions or discussion on this? I do want to add one thing, James, when we first started looking at doing this study, could you tell us what the original quote was on this study?
I think the original quote was a little over 800,000, and of course, that might have been some of my fault. I said, if you had all the money, what would be the ideal situation to monitor, which included a lot of extra things, but we boiled it down, and we ended up with this, and again, it's just going to give us a good program, so. But yeah, our initial cost was like over 800,000, and we knew that was not really feasible, so.
Okay, hearing no further discussion on this item, I'll call for a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the proposal with Georgia Southern.
All in favor? Motion carries unanimously. Thank y'all. Next up, we got Mr. Ron Nelson. He's going to discuss a motion to approve task order FY 26 ROWE08 in the amount of $20,250 to provide right-of-way acquisition services affecting 4 parcels at the culvert replacement project on Country Club Road, which was damaged during the Tropical Storm Debbie event in August 2024. The right-of-way acquisition at this project will support FY 25 CPE 17 Country Club Road Culvert Replacement Project, which is being designed and engineered by Kimley Horn and Associates. Cost for this work will be funded by T-Splost.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, Commissioners. Ron Nelson, County Engineer. This is another offering that we've got on our critical project here. We've got a very critical time schedule on our Country Club Road delivery. Getting this one back to the point of being open to traffic. One of the components that we have that's on our plate is to move through right-of-way acquisition and the purchase of the right-of-way. So this particular task order with JMT, who is our on-call right-of-way acquisition consulting firm, is in the amount of $20,250. I worked closely with them to put together this task order, and I feel like it is a good budget to move through. We'd like to take advantage of this as soon as possible so that we do not delay this project once it gets to the point of being ready for procurement in the spring of 2026. This will be, again, funded using T-Splost funds. Any questions?
Any questions or discussion on this item? Okay, hearing none, I'm gonna call for a motion.
So moved, Mr. Chairman. Second.
All in favor? Motion carries unanimously. Mr. Nelson, don't run away. You're gonna be here a while. Next up, we got a motion to approve a change order to the contract with Sims Paving and Construction LLC in the amount of $20,828.35 for additional sidewalk construction, remove and install a Generac generator, remove and install an LP tank, remove and install 2 AC units, and all incidental items necessary to complete the work associated with FY26 CP E06 Register Fire Station, new paved driveways and new paved parking lot facility project. Cost of this work will be funded by T-Splost.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So this is our active construction project that we have for the Register Fire Station. The current contract value is $313,829.30 with Sims Paving and Construction. This was approved by the board on October the 7th, 2025. We subsequently had a project kickoff meeting, and I included some photos in the agenda packet that showed that we did have a change condition in the field that we noticed during the course of October 31st during our kickoff meeting, and that involved the Generac generator being on the Main Street side of the building, which is going to involve parking and sidewalk at that location, as well as the LP tank that is on the north side of the building. That particular side of the building did not have any work to be done at that location. And then on the east side of the building as well, AC units that have come under some scrutiny and feel like it's in our best interest to move forward with an additional work item. And the cost for this additional work, I work closely with Sims Paving and Construction, and also our engineer of record, EMC Engineering, to develop a set of plans as far as our revision to the existing construction plans. And the cost of that additional work, $20,828.35. I feel like this is a very good price to get additional work taken care of to complete this project to the satisfaction of the folks there at the Register Fire Station as well as the county. Any questions?
Funded by T-Splost.
Yes, sir. That is correct.
Did the generator and the tank just get put down in part of all this grant, or has it been down for a couple of years?
It was put in sometime during the summer after the plans were completed. The plans were completed sometime in June.
Okay. Did anybody reach out to you to try to figure out where the generator needed to sit so it wouldn't be sitting in a parking lot like that, or?
No, sir. No, sir. And right now, that is it is a parking location, but it is going to be improved considerably. We're going to have positive drainage. It's actually going to help promote. So we didn't want to pave around it. We didn't want to trust the contractor necessarily to make adjustments. So felt like it was in our best interest to just remove it in the interim, as well as the LP tank and the AC units, complete the work. They're actually performing the work next week. So this will all take place pretty quickly, but wanted to go ahead and have all this taken care of. But yeah, it was done after the fact, once the plans were completed, so it was considered a field change condition.
Okay. Is there any way they can reach out to engineering department in the future, adding anything like that to the,
Yes, sir.
so we can
And we will do
try to
our better
avoid
to-
spending an extra $1,000 that's
Yes,
not
sir.
needed?
Yes,
Because I
sir.
know we already got them down at Stilton, and I'm assuming we might have to do the same thing down there when we do a parking lot down there too.
Yes,
So,
sir. Yes,
appreciate
sir.
it.
Any other questions or comments on this item? Hearing none, I'm gonna call for a motion.
Move to approve.
You get all that, Venus?
There are two down there.
Mr. Simmons had your motion to approve. Timmy was your second. Okay. All in favor? Motion carries unanimously. Mr. Nelson, you're still here. Motion to approve a contract with Pape Dawson Engineers in the amount of $42,500 to provide professional services associated with design and engineering of Anderson Cemetery Road for approximately 1,800 linear feet from the entrance of the Cornerstone Point subdivision to the intersection of Clifton Road. I did.
I can go with this one. I can go with this one if you want to.
The cost of this work will be funded for T-Splost. We'll go back and do number 4 after this.
That'll work. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So this one is an opportunity. It's kind of been something that's, we've been aware of it, knew it was kind of coming down to where we are here today. I believe it was requested by my predecessor, Brad Deal, during the course of having the Cornerstone Point subdivision development coming on board. And then number 4, which is the predecessor for the right turn lane that we'll discuss as well. But I think it's an advantage for the county to take it, to look into having this approval for moving into design so that we can take advantage of the remnant portion of Anderson Cemetery Road. All total, it's about 2,522 feet. The first 722 feet have been paved by the developer off of State Route 67. The remnant is about 1,800 linear feet, all the way to the intersection at Clifton Road. It'll be a benefit to the residents along Clifton Road to have a fully paved road all the way from the intersection at Clifton Road to gain access onto 67. We do have 30 feet, so half of the right-of-way has already been deeded by the developer of the Cornerstone Point subdivision. In discussions with the engineer of record for the Cornerstone Point subdivision and our right turn deceleration lane on 67, which is Pate Dawson, this would be an accomplishable project to have it designed, put on paper, can build it within the prescriptive easement portion of the road, as well as the deeded 30-foot right-of-way. So I believe this is a good benefit to take advantage of here, contracting with Pate Dawson to finish out this roadway. Any questions?
Didn't I just see a diagram of the subdivision up on the
I'm
screen
sorry.
just a minute ago?
Diagram. Sorry, Dow. Slipped my mind.
Is there two entrances to that subdivision?
There's a primary entrance and emergency access.
Okay,
So the
does that road
emergency
go,
access will not be utilized on a routine basis, obviously.
okay, so the dirt road starts at the first one. Wasn't it in, one of the conditions, James, whenever they first approved this, that road was supposed to be all the way down to the end of it, and they took that off, or was
Yes, sir, that condition was modified after the initial approval, so.
but that planning and zoning, it was part of the condition that whole road was supposed to be paved, or at least up to the second entrance? But was taken off at the commissioners?
Staff recommended initially, and then it was, I guess where they have paved now is what follows the condition that was finalized.
Okay. For some reason, I thought they were supposed to pave it all the way, so appreciate it.
That was something that was shared by the engineering office at that point in time, but it was removed during the course of discussions
Okay.
prior to the approval.
Any other questions or comments on this item? Hearing none, I'm gonna call for a motion.
Move to approve, Mr. Chairman.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Are you writing or, okay. All opposed? Okay, motion carries 5-1. Going back to number 4 now. Motion to approve a contract with Sims Paving and Construction in the amount of $214,913.05 to provide construction services for FY 26 CP E08 SR 67 at County Road Right Turn Deceleration Lane construction project. The cost of this work will be funded by T-Splost.
Dow, can you put it back up real quick? Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So this is the final piece of our commitment, our $250,000 that was committed towards the end result would be the right turn deceleration lane southbound on State Route 67. Shown here on this sketch right here, southbound 67 as you turn in. So this is a request to move into contracting with Sims Paving and Construction. We actually went through a quote, request for quote basis with the anticipation that this would be less than $250,000. We did solicit quotes from upward of 10 contractors, but we received 3. The 3 that we received was the first one from Reeves Construction Company for $277,861.16. The second was from Sykes Brothers Incorporated, $256,856.50. And Sims Paving and Construction LLC, $214,913.05. So based upon this tabulation, the County Engineering Office recommends approval of the lowest quote submitted by Sims Paving and Construction, the amount of $214,913.05 to provide construction scope of services associated with our project to build the right turn deceleration lane from 67 onto Anderson Cemetery Road, FY 26 CP E08. And this will be funded by T-Splost. Any questions?
That 250,000, it included the engineering and,
That is correct.
so we're at like 252. Who's going to pick up the remaining
I
2,000?
spoke with Ms. Christie King about it when we received these quotes, and she said we have the funds available So it would
We're
be in
going over
excess
that.
of the 250.
We're
Yes,
going
sir.
over the funds, okay.
So the 250 was a nominal number. I believe it was 10% of the 2.5 million. So we.
And that's part of it. This is that workforce housing where the developer got like
Correct. Yes, sir.
$2.2 million to build it, and then we had to chip in the 250.
Yes, sir, that's
Okay.
correct.
Appreciate it.
Any other questions or discussion on this item? Hearing none, I'm gonna call for a motion.
Motion to approve, Mr. Chairman.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 5-1. And as we wrap up our new business here, move into staff comments, Mr. Nelson, will you just stand by and go ahead and just give us an update on Cypress Lake Road?
Absolutely, be glad to. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So we did see geotechnical services show up at Cypress Lake Road last week. They came out and did borings. I had a couple of photographs from some different folks in the community, saw what was taking place, thought it might be construction activity. It's not. We're still in design. That particular project, Cypress Lake Road, is still advancing. We're still on schedule, moving towards April of 2026 for procurement of a contractor. Anticipate being able to bring it before the board in May of 2026 to get a contract for a contractor. It'll take 15 months, and we still anticipate August of 2027 for the roadway to be back open to traffic. So this would be a replacement bridge from the current bridge structure that's there now. So August of 2027, open to traffic. And we're advancing as quickly as possible. We're working with Heath and Lineback as much as we possibly can, and they're pushing things along through the design process. I think the key to this whole thing is going to be the end result of, there'll be some right-of-way necessary to move through. We'll bring that before the board pretty soon. And then also the environmental piece that'll have to go back through USACE.
And just so that we can refresh everybody's memory here, I know back in the spring, this was brought before the commission as far as just doing a complete replacement on this bridge versus a repair. Can you explain the reasons why we decided to go with a complete replacement?
Sure. The bridge itself had basically outlived its lifespan. It was already subject to critical issues. It was rated for 8 tons. It was actually impassable as far as school bus traffic is concerned anyway. So the idea to full replacement was the best option, best use of resources moving forward.
And I believe that the timeline to make the repairs was almost as long as what it would have been to actually replace the bridge, is that correct?
It would have been, yes, sir. To go through and have that actually redesigned and have everything put back through to get approval from GDOT that we could actually use some type of methodology to restore the bridge to an improved condition than what it was previously would have been very costly, and the time would have been almost similar as well.
Thank you, Mr. Nelson.
Thank you, sir.
Do we have any other staff comments? Mr. Carter, you look like you're back there wanting to say something. Good. Okay. Mr. Eldridge, do you have any comments?
Just so you know, I'm doing something. Yeah, we're working on some health insurance stuff still, so we're already getting ready for a renewal, and I know that was a big issue last year budget-wise, so we're looking at ways to contain costs there. Getting the safety committee up and running again, looking at liability, workers' comp, those things, so kind of an internal thing. We'll have something to discuss with the commission on the septic waste handling issue in January. EMS is still hiring up because, we will be staffing the new station down in Stilson. And we actually tweaked that hiring process a little bit. Just, there's a lot of different classifications, paramedics and EMTs. So Brian suggested, I said, yeah, go. So, one of those standards lowered a little bit with the understanding that those individuals would get that certification within 18 months, but allows us to get people on board, more quickly. And, fire department, we're about fully staffed. So, we've done well there too. So just quick hits.
Thank you. Any commissioner comments?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like, everybody, of course, I let Commissioner Connor told me about it. Mr. Gerald Edenfield and his family, on my understanding, that big house of his burnt down on Mud Road last night. So, y'all, it's Christmas time. Keep them in your prayers. They probably lost everything they had in the house. So, and it was one of the prettiest houses in Bullock County.
Saw a couple other commissioners reaching for the microphone button there. Any other comments?
The EMS is still online, going Stilson, starting January 1st.
Yes, sir. We'll be down there. One thing I always just kind of caution people to understand the way EMS works. Don't think you're always going to see an ambulance sitting there because it'll be out working and hauling and doing what they do, responding to calls. But yes, sir, we'll be there.
Any other commissioner comments?
Yeah, that's good, January 1st. I'm glad Mr. Newkirk brought that up. It's been a long time coming in Stilson, so, not only Stilson, it serves halfway to Leafield too, where Miss Pat's at, so, it's a long time in that community. I live right there in it, and it's been a long time needed. It's moving forward greatly. I'm looking forward to the approval, and like Timmy said about Mr. Gerald, y'all keep him in his prayers. He's the wrong time of the year for something like that to happen, but, we all put faith in the Lord, and he's a godly man, and we know he's all looking out, and everything happens for a reason. Saying that, y'all try to encourage your children to remember what the season's about. King of Kings and Lord of Lords came and was born in a feed trough. He's as simple as he could be. He was just like you and me. But he is the Almighty, and he died for our sins. And to have a father that knew that he was going to send a son that was going to die for somebody else, don't ask me to do it because I couldn't do it. I wouldn't send mine for you. So going into this season, y'all think about that. When you sit down with your families, think about that. Life is precious. Homes are precious. We up here, we know that. We try to do the best we can. Sometimes we don't seem like we do, but we do try to do the best we can. I wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year, and I'm looking forward to 26. And we're going to give this thing another go and try to make it better, just like Ms. Dixon said. We try to make every year better than the last. So thank y'all very much, and your patience, and all the staff. Merry Christmas.
That was the left side of the commissioners. How about the right side over here? Y'all got any comments?
I just did what Commissioner Toby said. Everybody have a Merry Christmas and please be safe out there.
I'd like to say that the fire down at Stilson, that Mr. Gerald was wheelchair bound. We're just thankful that he and his family got out safely, and y'all please remember them in your prayers.
I just echo the sentiments of all the commissioners. Do wish everyone a Merry Christmas, and like I said, just be safe. Appreciate the opportunity that you have to share with your families, and we look forward to 2026.
So before we go into executive session, just mention a couple things. Like Mr. Eldridge said, we're going to be discussing septage next month some more, and I'll just go ahead and tell the commissioners that I would plan on having a work session after the morning meeting. I believe it's on the 16th of January. Is that correct? I'm sorry, it's the 20th. But anyway, after the morning meeting, we're looking to have a work session to discuss septage. And then with the EMS station in Stilson, I'll just add that this is, putting EMS in there in January is the first phase of the plan there. The next step there is probably mid-year, June or July. They're looking to man that station 24/7 with another engine company as well. So we're excited to see that, and working with the state legislature to try to get some funding so that we can continue on out into the county as far as improving the fire service there. So more to follow on that. And like everybody else has said, I just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. I hope you take some time not just to tell your children, but to also reflect on why we pause this time of the year for Christmas. There's a lot of folks that will still be working, but I hope that everybody will take a moment and just pause and reflect and think about the things that you have and the blessings that you have in your life. We're very fortunate to live here in Bullitt County. There's been a lot of exciting things that have happened here in the last year. we are making progress to make this an even better place to live, and I'm excited to say that I'm part of doing those things. So, thank y'all. I hope you have a Merry Christmas. We are going to go into executive session, and I'll just tell you, I do not anticipate any type of action after this executive session, so I'll read the little legal statement here, and then we'll move into that. I must now call for a motion to adjourn into executive session in accordance with the provisions of OCGA 50-14-3B1B and other applicable laws pursuant to the advice of County Attorney Jeff Akins for the purpose of discussing real estate. Again, there will be no action taken after this executive session, so thank y'all. Actually, I need to call for the motion first.
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Motion carries unanimously. Thank y'all. Thank you.